right, good morning, and thank you for allowing me to interview today. My name is Ryan, and I'm going to be interviewing you today for an assignment I have in my communications class. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about your Missouri State experiences, major, what you like to do, things like that. It'll last about 15 to 20-ish minutes. With your permission, we're going to record it today. Is that all right?
That is completely all right.
Okay, so we're going to record it today. And, do you have any questions before we get started with the interview? Or?
No, I'm ready to go.
All right. Okay, so to get started, could you please tell me your name and your school?
Yes, well, Brian, it was nice to meet you. I'm
Nice
Josh.
to meet you.
Yes, and I am a senior in Missouri State right now.
Nice, okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
Really? I'm from Kansas City.
Really? Born and raised. I went to Raytown.
I'm from Grandview.
Grandview, yeah.
Bulldogs. Yeah, okay, wait, Raytown, which one? Either south?
Raytown, not south.
Okay, so you guys were red.
No, they were red.
Blue Jays. Okay,
Blue Jays,
yeah. See, I know some
it comes
of
back.
It all comes back to you. All right, so what's your current major?
My current major is communications.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything specific or?
No, just straight up communications. I thought about maybe emphasizing in like health or something, but I kind of like what she was, Kelsey, or Melanie, sorry, was saying. It's kind of what she said. I keep it general, so I can just pretty much go anywhere with it.
Okay. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Do you have a minor with?
Yeah, my minor is advertising.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was supposed to go into the advertising because communications, advertising, they kind of mesh well. Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of got you into your major?
Well, it's kind of funny. I started out with a marketing major and a writing minor, a technical writing minor. And I was enjoying the minor a lot, but then the marketing major was really just not, I don't know, it was kind of all right at first, and then I started taking more classes, and I got up to statistics, or QBA 237, and I was just in this class, I felt like I was reading Egyptian or Arabic or something. I literally was like, I don't understand this. And she was like, well, what do you understand? I'm like, all of it. So then I kind of just started talking to my advisor, and she was like, well, why do you think that is? I was like, math is not. So then we kind of explored it, talked to my roommate, actually, who was a health communications major. And he kind of showed me some of the stuff he was doing. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I was like, maybe I'm going to change majors. Right. So then I, perfect college move of student. I waited until maybe beginning of junior year. And I was like, if I'm going to do it now, I should do it. So I changed to communications, and then I kind of stayed with my writing minor, but then I just started realizing that, I don't know, I don't want to go into a business where all I'm going to do is writing all the time. So I kind of was like, okay, I need to change it. I went to advertising, which is all about advertising. It's none of the market statistics and accounting and stuff, which I really enjoy, the design and coming up with ideas, stuff like that. So basically about a year and a half ago, I changed to communications major and minor to advertising. Ever since then, I've been having a great time. Grades have really improved. My grades have really gone up. So I'm glad to still be here and get it over with. It's awesome. Finally graduating.
So you're graduating?
No, I actually still have another semester.
Okay, that's not
but it's okay. I'm not ready to be a big kid.
Right.
I'm cool with being here.
I understand that. So like you said, you talked to your roommate about the communication. Yes, health communication.
Yeah, he was a health communications. He actually moved back to St. Louis to go to SLU or something. I'm not really sure what I keep in touch with him, but we haven't talked in a little while. But yeah, he kind of showed me some of the stuff he was doing. I was just, man, it looks so much better.
Yeah.
Counting statistics that I'm in, and I was like, all right, so, and just kind of explore, like he said, I went around, talked to some people, talked to my advisor, and, kind of got a grasp that this was what I'd be happier doing.
Right.
Because I thought that marketing major was what I was going to be going for. I thought that was, going to be the advertising stuff, but it ended up being all, math.
Yeah.
A data analysis, not my...
So, to me, that's so strange that marketing is more math than, actually communicating with people.
Yeah. That's a good thing. Marketing would be getting in touch with people.
Yeah.
And networking. Instead, it's no, learn this.
Yeah.
Learn how to analyze a market. I don't want to do that.
Not at all. Not me. So you cross over to the dark side.
I can. Yes. Good.
Okay. So did your advisor? Did you have to switch advisors when you did that?
Yeah, I did. Actually, and even when my first advisor was over in Glass for that for business stuff, and then I was told, I was like, this is not for me. And then I got a different one for my minor, and I got a new one for my major. So I got Dr. Ballman.
Yeah.
For Com
209.
Yeah, Com 209. Yeah, she's my advisor. She's great. She's laid back. She doesn't pressure me. If I told her I didn't want to do something, she's like, okay, it's not for you. Don't do it. And I'm like, thank you. Because the first advisor I had, she was like, you got to do this. So I was like, I'm not doing well in this though. And she's like, well, just do it. And I'm like, you're not helping me. You're forcing me. You feel like my parent rather than my person I can help. Yeah, that helps you. So that was kind of, I'm glad I got switched into people I think that more understood what I was going for, and I finally realized what I wanted,
Right.
rather than just being like this. You read something on paper, it looks so easy, and you're like, oh yeah, marketing fire, that sounds great. And then you do it, and you're like, this stuff's terrible. So more power to those guys that can do it, but not I.
Us communication. We're not math people.
Nope.
No.
That's why we put a pin in our hand and just walk around and we're good to go.
Okay, so like with it, I know your general communication, you can kind of go anywhere with it, but is there like a specific area that you want to go in with?
Yeah, with my minor that I've chosen and stuff, I actually know what I want to go do after I graduate. I want to become maybe an account executive for an advertising firm. Basically, they would have clients like Nabisco, Kraft, anybody like, any big, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, whatever. They would come to us and say, we're going to employ you to come up with our ideas. And basically, I would work with the advertising team, the people that would come up with the ideas for them, and then I would talk to the client, get what they want, for that or relay that to the advertising people. They'll draw it up, write up, design what they got. Then I'll show that to the client and be like, is this what you wanted? Is this, I think this is what you want for your next advertising campaign or commercial or ad banner or whatever.
Right.
And that's kind of what I want to do. So basically work with the client and the advertising, like the creative side, and I would be like the middleman between those two.
Right. So like with this career field, it's like kind of a blend between communications and marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's like okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, you like to use the communication side to actually really be able to get in touch and figure out the needs of the client, and then be able to relay that, communicate that well to the advertiser, the creative team, but also be able to understand from my advertising minor that I can understand what their mindset is, what they're coming up, where their ideas are coming from, and how to kind of help the client understand that if they don't get that right away, that might be in their best interest, but they never saw it.
Right. That makes sense. And was that a specific company that you wanted to
No, I've looked into some companies, like a lot. There's one Sullivan Higgin Pratt, or I think Sullivan Higgin and Sink, and they're actually the Chiefs advertising firm. Like that's who the Chiefs use. Yeah, that's who they employ to do all their advertising. And then there's another one which is not thinking. On the spot. I'm on the spot. I forget about it. But it's a big one in Chicago that handles like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and a bunch of like big companies. So like that's kind of what I want to go for. Something, just up there and really get to branch out, meet people.
So like, do you plan to travel with your career?
I do not plan to stay in Missouri.
No,
so my plan is not. I don't want to go. I mean, maybe go to a coast for a while. I do plan to come back. I mean, I'm a Kansas City boy, born and raised, so I wouldn't mind dying there. But I want to go out and explore somewhere in 10, 15 years. Get out, see the world. Really, I wouldn't mind traveling for a little while.
Right. It's like where 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
Hopefully, that's a good one. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe Atlanta or like Chicago. Even if I get especially if I get employed by a big firm, I'm fine with going to any big city. I love big cities.
Right.
I love cities. So, I don't know. Maybe hopefully East Coast. I would prefer to go East Coast, but if not Chicago or anywhere in between, that would be pretty good.
Yeah. Is there like a big market for the advertising, like with the communication? Do you think easier with the communication? Do you think it's harder?
At first, when I first did it, I was a little confused. I was like, I hope I'm making the right choice here. I hope this is gonna work. And I'm in an advertising class right now, and it's legitimate. It's just I think it's advertising and promotion class. Yeah, it's marketing or something. And she was like, we were talking about it. And she was like, yeah. She didn't say people with a communication degree. She's like, but the people that can communicate with the client and the creative team. Yeah, and I talked to my advisor about that. I was like, would this go into like a business? And she was like, yeah, it applies. So over the last year, I started to realize that I made the right choice, and I think that it's all going to flash well together when it shows that I emphasize in advertising, but my major in being able to communicate well and understand people and relate and actually convey those messages.
I guess that makes sense in business, being able to communicate. People don't want to sell something somebody they don't know.
Yeah, especially if you're like, man, I don't even know what you're trying to show me.
Right.
Like, oh, you don't like it? Like, no, explain it. Explain it. Like, yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else in your career that you want to do, or do you want to be in charge of a company, or just kind of work within one, or like?
When I started out, when I was younger and stuff, I was like, I want to own my own company, do my own thing. Because my dad owns his own concrete construction company. I was like, okay, my dad's a hero. I'll do what he does. And I started to realize, man, this is so stressful, and there's so much work and extra stuff besides just doing your job.
Right.
Just all the other stuff they have to do. And I started to realize, if it's a big firm, I really wouldn't mind working for somebody else, especially if I like my job. I feel like if I really do like my job, I won't work that much. I'll be enjoying myself.
Right.
So that's really what I hope. So over the years, I'm like, man, I just don't know if that's all for me. If it came down to it one day where I had the money to do it, like start my own little ad agency, that'd be pretty overall, right now, I'd be fine with just working in a company and, just worrying about my job rather than all the senior taxes and everything else I have to worry about.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, you're almost done with school and everything, so like I'm sure you've had plenty of experiences here at Missouri State. So like, do you have any like specific that jump out at you that helped you get to where you are?
I almost joined a fraternity when I was a freshman, and then it just with the money wise and just like time wise, it just wasn't working out for me. So it was cool. So I have tons of those friends I'm all friends with, and they understood, and everybody's cool with it. And I didn't really go into new organizations. I've worked for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I've worked at Editsfield, if you know that.
Yeah,
I was cooked there for a while.
Oh, yeah. Is that closed now?
The one I worked at, the south side, one closed.
Oh,
The one downtown's still there. They got bought out, so it's not even the same one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people were but so it sucks for them. But and now I'm an assistant manager at a grocery store called Save Lot, if you've ever heard of it. It's down here. It's owned by Price Cutter, and it's just like a small branch off. And I'm an assistant manager, so it's kind of cool. I mean, I don't really like have a ton of power or anything, but it's like it's nice to be like, I don't want to do that, you do that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice. But that's kind of that and like, especially with cooking. Like when I was a cook, I hated it. It was the worst thing I ever had. And I was like, yeah, so this is not for me. Obviously, culinary is not my thing. And then, but being an assistant manager kind of showed me, like I'm able to communicate. If like the cashier, somebody doesn't know, can't like, it's getting frustrated with the customer. I can be like, everybody's just hold on here. What's the problem?
Right.
And I'm like, diffuse the situation. I'm kind of showed that like even though I'm not really trying to be in the grocery business, the communication has helped me understand that like the customer doesn't understand where we're coming from. We don't understand where they're coming from. Like, maybe I'm having a bad day and they're not. And like sometimes like one customer thought we were trying to rip them off. And I was like, just look here, here's where you got charged and stuff like that. And it kind of showed that where my major is starting to finally show in my real life. And that also in turn showed me that I'm doing something. I feel like I like what I'm doing because I don't really get mad. Like customers get mad, I'm like, hold on, calm down. We can take care of this. Let's not get mad. So it's like I feel like the working experience is showing me like, kind of like what you guys are talking about. It's like college itself, just going to class and doing stuff isn't all it is. Like you have to branch out. You go, if you don't have a job to do, go join a fraternity or sorority. Like it really does count to go out and see, because if you don't go and experience, you're never going to know if you're just narrow-minded and stick to one path.
Right.
And so that's kind of where like I feel like all my experiences, just friends going out, still make sure I study, trying to do my grades and all that stuff. I feel like it's all culminating into just being able to, really work with experience to understand that it makes me, I grew from that. I wasn't just a kid from high school anymore. I finally been out and meet people from different parts of the state, different countries, and I feel like really that's all coming together to help me. Like understand, be a better person, understand that I chose the right major finally.
Yeah.
I'm doing good stuff like that.
It's like, okay, I mean, you said that you were cooking, you said you absolutely hated it, and I know I learned a lot from like horrible experiences. Do you think there's anything aside from the fact that you don't like to cook, or not that you don't like to cook, that culinary is not for you? Is there any like thing that you like took away from that? I was like, you know what, this is a big lesson I learned there.
Yeah, I learned how to be a better manager because my managers were terrible. Like, I found they were the cooks at the old Evans, and they were brought over and promoted to being managers. And so, I can understand that they were trying really hard to do well, but they weren't doing it right. And there'd be times where we'd be slammed, and I'd be like, hey, I need an extra hand over here, and they'd be like, do it faster. I'm like, you don't think you're understanding what I'm trying to tell you? Like, you don't want to get mad at me. I don't want to be mad because you won't help me. So just come and help me. They just wouldn't. They'd yell. They just yell loud. And so I was like, when I became an assistant manager, I was like, that's not how I want to do things. Like, I want to I'd rather be calm, in a good mood, and like if we're getting slammed or when we're rushed or we don't have something. I'm like, I didn't realize that yelling's not going to get anybody anywhere, and it's better to try and help, be calm and try to defuse the situation and help people that hey, I need you to go grab this for me rather than being like, go get it yourself.
Yeah.
Like I'll go help them. And that's where I pulled that away from that is that if you can't be a good employee if you don't have a good manager.
Right.
It's hard to be a good employee if you don't have a good manager. The same if you're a good manager, if you have bad employees, it's going to reflect on you. So I kind of took that away. Is that it's better to help and collaborate well with your employees and coworkers rather than just look down and speak down on them rather than speak with them and talk to them.
Makes sense. Okay, like aside from your job, was there anything specifically on campus that you did besides the fraternity, like try to?
No. Not a lot. I mean, I've gotten some stuff like they held like the events out there, for the PSU and stuff. I've gone around and met people, but no, I guess I should have. I've thought about it. Like maybe I should have joined there's the I think it's like a marketing fraternity or something like that.
Is it Kappa? One of the
Kappa on the side. I think sounds right. And I thought about joining that, but since I changed to communications, I'm like, well, man, I don't want to be this my major, but then I'd be in this marketing one where they're all probably taking classes. I was like, that's too hard for me.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought about that, but no, I should have done more. But then I started working. I've worked less than 2.5 So it's kind of like I don't know, once I start pulling my time away from everything, and I like to have like my personal time where I can at least just relax or go see my friends. So I didn't get quite as involved in other, I used to say like factions and stuff like that, but I really did branch out and meet people. You got older, I started meeting older people and still, met other like freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think that the best experience and kind of thing I pulled away is I just try to be a people person, and just it didn't matter where you're from, who you are, whatever. Just talk. Yeah, communicate. Right? Communicate. That's kind of my thing. Social butterfly.
Yeah, it sounds like you have like a good networking base too. So like, do you think that'll help you like?
I do. I really do. I think one time a friend of a friend who was graduating, and we were just talking about some random stuff, and he goes, "It's not about the grades you make, it's about the hands you shake."
Oh, I like.
Yeah, and I was like, that makes so much sense because I had a friend who was like, I'm underqualified, but I'm getting hired at this lawyer firm, and I was like, how'd you do that? He's like, you know the right guy, man.
Yeah.
Work for me, and I'm getting hired. I was like, okay. And so he was like, just remember that. He's like, yeah, and grades are important. He's like, at the end of the day, you have a bad grade, but you have the right guy say the right words to somebody else for you. He's like, you got a job.
That's very true.
That's what I took away from that comment. Ever since then, I've loved it.
Okay. I mean, aside from that little quote right there, I really like. Is there any other like advice that you have or that you would give to people who are considering Missouri State as a school?
Yeah, kind of like what everybody was saying. Branch out. Really, even if you don't join a fraternity or sorority or any other like just campus network, anything like that, really branch out, meet people. Go out. Even not even party once. Just go out, go do stuff. Go downtown. Go out to a place to eat. Go around campus. Just branch out. Meet people in your dorm. Meet people that are around. Meet your friends' friends. You never know. Like a friend of a friend was from Saudi Arabia. Me and him became really good friends for us before he went back. And we were really good friends. Stuff like that. I still keep in touch. I think just regardless if you want to go into, which I actually would encourage to go join a social or a campus organization. An organization. That's what an organization. Because it really does. Like it's really important to meet people. Like people that just sit in their dorm all day and just do homework. I understand it's important, but like at the end of the day, if you don't know people, you don't like other people don't know you. You're just gonna go around being like, oh, well, the only ideas I have are mine.
Right.
You want to mesh yours with others, because that's really I think you'll discovering who you are, what you like, is also goes through discovering other people, what they are, like who they are.
That makes sense.
So that's what I would tell people: is just really go out and meet other people and branch out.
Yeah.
Branch out. Really, just branch out, meet people, and talk to them.
All right. I think that's all we really have. I mean, thank you for sitting down and interviewing with me.
Yes,
it's nice to meet you, Josh.
Yes.
Is there any last advice, like another little quote you want to give out, or is
that's the last one I got? Right?
Yeah.
That's the last one I got. Just take it away, use it. No copyright.
All right. Thank you.